What would it cost you? And, within how many years will you have paid off the investment? There are a lot of programs and governments doing a lot within the residential space. In the business space, probably not as much. The question is, how much has the technology moved on within 5 years? Would you not rather invest in new equipment?
So let's talk about an Australian business who has never done anything around sustainability and really wants to make their first step.
I would probably start by looking at the energy bill or getting a sustainability consultant to understand what are all the different areas where they could possibly, save money or do things better or have a lesser carbon footprint. And energy consumption might just be one of those things. But let's say it is energy consumption and they realize, maybe we should look into rooftop solar. At that point, they would probably call the Sparky that they know, and the Sparky come to their business and give them some initial advice. Like, there's also websites these days where you can just type in your address, and then that software behind that website would know your address. They have sky view camera views, what's the size of your rooftop area and how is it optimized for the sun, and then almost within 10 minutes you have an evaluation of how big is the system that you would need for your warehouse or your rooftop space, what would be the best design for that system and what would it cost you, and within how many years will you have paid off the investment of that system. So there's some really, really cool stuff out there these days to do that initial assessment.
How long does it generally take for payback? Obviously, it would vary depending on lots of various different things, how much sun there is, how big your space is.
I'd say 2 years, less than 2 years, sometimes even within a year and a half. So it just depends on, are you investing in sort of cheap and cheerful technology, or are you investing in some quality stuff like SMA? Are you investing in German quality, or are you not investing in German quality? So that really also will have an impact on the payback period. But also, let's say you have a lot of warehousing space and you have a lot of energy usage. So it also means that you will need a much larger system, right? And if you use a lot of energy, having that access to your own energy and then probably also the space to install batteries is really going to bring that return on investment time down.
2-year payback sounds a really good return. Is the government doing enough to promote sustainable energy?
It's an interesting question. I mean, definitely there are a lot of programs and governments doing a lot within the residential space. In the business space, probably not as much. It's almost because it is such a obvious thing for a lot of businesses to do.
One of the questions I have for you is from a business perspective, a lot of business owners that are in warehouses or in factories or in large office spaces, technically tenants and aren't landlords in most cases. With those assets that go up on roofs, might be solar panels, inverters, are they easily taken down and moved to new premises?
Yes, it can be transported. The question is, how much has the technology moved on within 5 years? Would you not rather invest in new equipment? Another aspect would be, well, your current warehouse is north facing and you have a lot of a flat roof, whereas your next warehouse faces a different direction and you might have a different kind of a roof design. That will sort of have an impact on how would you design the new system. I think that's the bigger question, not so much can you dismantle it and move it from A to B.
I feel like it should be an incentive for landlords to do this investment on their buildings. I see this an opportunity for landlords to add value to their tenants.